show that can match it. Hard to name another show that can match it. Everybody from classy to ratchet. Heat fans like Jamaal keep the flame alive. Dennis Lee got the lake show locked in 5 to Dub K to Augusta GA. Talk everything from NBA to anime. Chat like homies or debate like enemies. It's all fun and games, just match my energy. Just match my energy. Just match my energy. Yeah.
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to episode 31, I believe. 31 of the Match My Energy podcast, the real one. This is Dennis Lee, aka DINO Fit Dennis.
Hey, it's your boy Jamaal, JC2 Bless. Back at it. Another week, back. Man.
Yeah. Man, how you been?
Pretty good. It was a special week last week. It was a lot of like presenting, and right now we have these interns on for the summer. A lot of at least for our company, at the end of that summer, we give a lot of offers for these college students. So after graduation, they come on full time, or they want to do a co-op or another internship for next summer. So just doing a lot of interviews with them and sending in a lot of interviews, trying to, decide who we want to select for next year. So been a busy week last week. And then this weekend I went to see Transformers Rise of the Beast.
Okay.
No spoilers, but it was super good. I had very, very low expectations for the movie going into it. I kind of just feel like that series is like Fast and Furious, where they just keep on throwing out different movies, different ideas, and it's like taking a turn for what it was supposed to be in my head. But this one was a really good story, really good fight scenes. Something that I was like, man, even the fight scenes are dragging, but from start to finish, man, I thought it was an overall pretty good movie. Of course, the ending could be tweaked, but that's most movies nowadays. But
right.
I would definitely recommend it as a movie theater movie. I always say, like, if you can watch it at home, watch it at home. But I think that one with the action and the sound, if you don't have a movie theater at your crib, definitely go to the movies. But it's starting to phase out right now because it's only like a couple showings at our movie theater. So I'm pretty sure maybe 2 more weeks it's going to be in the movie theater and probably be on a streaming platform down the line. But yeah, that was pretty much it. It's pretty hot here. Well, I guess like high 90s, so it's not the triple digits that Kansas may be seeing, but
I thought it'd be hotter down there, but I guess because y'all got the water by a little bit.
I would say it's a lot more humid, where like your whole hair will frizz up, go to a fro. My glasses always fog up as soon as I open the door, so I say it's 90 plus the humidity level is going through the roof, so it's kind of like, ooh, you're feeling sticky and everything. It's like, but yeah, man, that's my week. What about you, man? How you been?
Man, it's been pretty cool. I guess it's been a couple weeks since we shot for real.
Hey,
but
you gotta tell them that. They don't know.
Oh yeah, you're right. It's been like a couple days. But yeah, no. So we got rained out a couple times for softball. So we finally had like a makeup games a couple days ago on Friday, and this time like both of my sisters came to watch. My mom and also my dad came for the first time, and that was pretty cool.
Had to show out. He had to show out.
Yeah, it was just like. I mean, I played okay. It was just really kind of cool to see my parents there. And then it was like, it's kind of like flashback a little bit because like, it was like when I was a kid and I played sports. And like I said, my parents been divorced since I was like 2nd grade or something like that, 2nd or 3rd. And so like, you'll see like one parent right here, one parent over here away and like barely talking to each other. And I'm like, man, this is that flashback. But I played pretty decent. We actually feel like we're getting a little bit better. My fielding's getting better, like nothing too crazy with like the catches, but just like, being able to stop the line drives, throw it to the base real quick. stuff like that. But
Gotcha.
I don't know if it's definitely something where it makes you feel good that you staying active and all that. Like,
Oh yeah.
um, but yeah, we've been doing that. Been trying to work on. Of course, the pre-orders are going and got shirts coming this week, so I'll be able to mail out the ones that I need to mail out and deliver to the ones I need to deliver. But yeah, and then today, basketball fans and people that know the TBT tournament, big one with like a lot of like college alumni and stuff like that will come back together and play against each other. And they'll play for $1 million. So they got different regions. They've been keeping it pretty like consistent with having like at least a round or so in Wichita. So like at the Charles Koch Arena, they'll have it. And we got our team, the Aftershocks. So it's cool because then also you'll see like a lot of these players are like, obviously they're all like alumni, but and they'll for sure they'll have like friends that are in the NBA or some of them that like used to play in the NBA. So you'll end up seeing like NBA players, former, present, like some young ones. Because like for some of these teams, maybe this one wanted to play, but he's actually in a G League / NBA contract, so he actually can't play. But he's there right there with his boys or watching. So now you sitting there chatting it up with, this guy and that guy. So I know like Fred VanVleet will be there because he was there yesterday. The Shocks won, the Aftershocks won. So now they're gonna play again. Like they were number 1 seed. So we actually been pretty good over the years, I guess. But we actually haven't gotten to the like $1 million yet.
Yeah.
And
Does the $1 million go to charity or how does that work? Do you know?
I think it goes to them. And I can't remember if they like decide to like have it go towards a charity or their pockets. Because remember, all the ones that are in the tournament are like they aren't like NBA players. And some of them play like pro ball and like overseas or something, but that money's not NBA money. So like if they were like, Fred VanVleet contract or something like that, I would understand him being like, you can take my portion and send it to charity. I already have 200 mil.
Oh yeah. Now the other people are like, hey, I need this direct deposit.
Yeah. So you said broken down, I get 15 or whatever. I get 100,000. Cool.
Here's my routing number. Here's my.
So yeah, that's why I got the rep of the Shockers today.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna still. Hey, we're gonna put that on. I'm just saying. Hey, I don't miss a day. I was
getting ready to put my Lakers shirt on too. I was like,
we got the yellow, so
Yeah, still yellow.
I mean, you talking basketball, but what about like I wanted to get into like so that's still kind of exhibition type games. So, or is on that realm, or is it more like a league?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like a consistent tournament, I guess, that they do like after the season's over, and a lot of the overseas seasons are over, so they're able to come and play in this. And lately, I've been seeing like even like YouTube creators have been like putting bids in and like
I've seen
YouTube basketball players, like they've been getting in the tournament too. They say it's kind of exhibition-ish, but every game that you go to, it don't feel like no type of like, it's not like Drew League where you can tell they out there like like just having fun or whatever. Like they working.
Well, yeah, $1 million to your pocket. Well, between the team, that's still that's gonna be
like, even if it's 10 people, it's 100,000 a piece broke down.
That's nice. Well, I was bringing it up because go ahead.
Oh, and it's like potential because these games are on like ESPN and ESPN2 and all that. So like you got potential like old buddy that was playing for, I don't know, the Cardinals or whatever team. He was actually kind of nice. Let's maybe get him in for a workout or for whatever. So you could potentially get more looks and get in there. I know I made fun of the white men can't jump, like how you get an NBA contract out of
street
but
ball
they do
game.
get looks, and they already pros. Most of these are already pros, so it's kind of like getting another contract to go somewhere else, maybe even NBA or wherever. So, yeah, certain things like that. What were you saying about the?
Well, I was about to say because right now Ice Cube is doing his podcast tour. He's talking about everything, but mostly trying to promote the big three. So,
right.
And for some of those people that don't know, is Ice Cube has this league that is 3-on-3 style basketball with the 4-point shot included as well. They usually play in the summertime. Some of these are mostly retired NBA players or players that are trying to make a come up. Like they'll be like 22, 23, maybe trying to get their contract or something, still have some hoop dreams. And there's some players that are out of the league, not fully retired, but they still like to hoop and maybe trying to make a run back into the NBA. Also former NBA or coaches and stuff like that. So even some WNBA players involved as well. So it's kind of ingrained with a lot of the NBA, the basketball realm. But one of the things they've been kind of saying is that the NBA is not allowing their owners to invest in that league. And Ice Cube been kind of combating that, saying we're not in competition. This is a whole different thing. It's 3-on-3. If they work with if the NBA allows the owners, they can work with them to, not step on any toes with summer league. Well, stagger the games, make sure the schedule match up, especially in the summertime where there's nothing else going on besides summer league. And they don't have to touch those rookies and the people that's in those league games. You don't have to touch those individuals. So, but I always want to ask, I was like, do you see, I think Big Three has been out for like 5 to 6 years right now. But I still see it as being low key. Now, a lot of people hear about it, but how many people are actually tuning in every game? How many people have gone to the game? So do you see it becoming something like, even if the NBA doesn't endorse it, which I don't see it being as big if the NBA doesn't bless it, but do you see it being like one of these top leagues that we kind of look at going forward?
So I don't know. I mean, okay, so I think honestly, I like the league a lot. I like it because it's like you kind of think to yourself like, ooh, what if so and so was still able to play or was still in the league? Because then there's still some players that like one of the things that I'm starting to learn about the NBA and sports business is the business aspect, to where we've noticed in the NBA where you're like, why isn't, I'll throw out a name, why isn't John Wall playing? Why isn't he on a contract? If he's super nice, why is it that, I don't know, this player and that player aren't playing? And we're starting to learn that, well, yes, he's better than this guy, this guy, and this guy, this guy. A lot of the rosters of people playing. Why isn't Boogie Cousins in the league? But it's mainly because of like the business aspect. Like for some reason, team will feel like, well, this guy could bring in potentially this money, or we actually are trying to invest in this guy that's his exact same position or whatever. I don't know, because of his marketability. It could be this guy's marketability over this one, I guess. So, but then you have a league that's like, I don't really care about that. He's nice. Let's get him over here. And so I think that the NBA, I've been trying to make it make sense to me, because as much as I am for Ice Cube in that league and I want to see it prosper, I keep trying to say like, well, what would they have to stop that for? Like, is it racism? Is it this, that? And then I try to think about it, and I think one of the things would be, I think the NBA not as scared because it's so big, but I think greedy people will be greedy people. Where like, let's say they do invest and it gets big, right? We start to get butts and seats. Okay, so the average person, we're not talking about the celebrities that are sitting down there and going every week or whatever. We're talking about the average 9 to 5 working, the average American. we can't just fly and go to every game. Or like, let's say you live in Miami or whatever. Even if you live in Miami, what are the chances that you go to, I'll say, more than 5 Miami games a season? It's probably really low because of ticket pricing, this and that, and being busy, not being able to have that in your schedule, whatever the case. Or you got a family. So if, like, even though it's not during the same season, you're still going to take away some of my, you still could potentially take away some of my revenue in the NBA. Because now if it's like, okay, so like me with basketball or with baseball jerseys, like most of my friends know, or my family know, like every year for my birthday, I buy one baseball jersey. And then maybe I might buy a second jersey throughout the year if I get a deal on something or, you know, something.
Yeah.
And so if the average person's only buying like one, maybe 2 jerseys a year, okay, and I get a 3-headed monster jersey. Now, when am I able to go buy the Lakers jersey or the Bucks jersey or the, you know what I'm saying, or the Kyrie jersey, because that's my guy? Like, you're taking away a potential jersey sale there, a potential button seat, potential, you know, viewership, because I was just watching basketball. Now, somebody like us, we can sit there and watch whatever the basketball is all day. I'll watch a street ball game, Big Three game, a Laker game, all the same day. But some people are kind of be like, I'm kind of sports stout. I'm going to go do this. Or they don't want to be sitting there all day. Maybe we got errands to run. And so even if it's not lined up, I could see why it would look like it still takes away from our league. And we're already trying to invest in the WNBA, which is taking a hit. So now you want us to invest on another investment that I don't fully see being big. Like,
Gotcha.
or maybe you don't fully believe in. Me, I think it's tight. I think it's a whole separate thing, but it's kind of like, could slam ball and Big Three and the NBA all coexist? Or
Man, I forgot about slam ball coming back.
Right. Could they all coexist, or will one end up falling? Like I literally just read something this morning about the Bellator. Like, you know, MMA. There's like, I think it's like breaking news. They're actually going to be dissolving because, and so like some of the players will be going to the UFC, and then there's like another league or another type of fighting thing. And so it's just like at such a high level, you know, because there are smaller leagues around. There's the EFC, there's all these lower ones, but there's two big names. There's Bellator and there's UFC. And so now, like, and they do the exact same thing, right? So how could both of them stay around and stay big? Eventually one crumbles. So maybe he's on some like, I'm really trying to wait for you to crumble because you ain't gonna keep up with the money. I mean, WNBA is already leading us a little bit because revenue is not up in that. I'm gonna say I guess, but
yeah,
you know,
that's a good take on it for sure. Especially, but like I said, I don't see, especially with the money that the league is getting, like billions of dollars, and the amount they're paying players. Like, for me, I don't see them taking away from the fans as much, because I don't see the Big Three taking enough fans away that it makes a big dent into their pockets in the long run. But like you said, greedy people stay greedy. So if I see that 1% missing, I'd be like, well, if they wasn't here, I would have had that 1%. So I do see what you mean about like, hey, we want to keep everything we can. But I think it could be successful. I just don't know how long it's going to take. But because to me, like like you said, like John Wall and Boogie Cousins, those are two examples that I say like I would love this continue to see playing. So one of the examples some people say is like, hey, if the NBA is not happening, you know, I think Boogie tried to do overseas or is doing that now, but
he did.
I was like, but honestly, we don't really see those games, or we only see the highlights. So I think it'd be, you know, Big Three would be an opportunity for him to kind of showcase, still be pretty competitive as well. Because I mean,
Mm-hmm.
to me, it looks still competitive. It's not too much for that. All right, I'm just gonna let you go by and get the next one type of deal. They still kind of go at
Nah,
each
they be
other.
hooping. Yeah.
Especially, I saw Mario Chalmers highlights. He be going at him in the big three. I'd be like, I think he could still run.
Yeah. Yo, I
Get a
saw
little
Hezzy
contract.
guys in there now.
Yeah, I'm like, they getting some names, but I think um, I think the NBA is gonna have to just go ahead and like, hey, let me just check it out. But I don't know if they can get that stamp.
Yeah.
I think they have to prove themselves that they can be profitable without the NBA. Once they prove that, then the NBA is going to invest into it. I feel like, or allow the owner. I don't. The NBA directly won't invest, but the owners. Right now, the issue is that the owners are not allowed to invest in a competitor, but they are
Mm-hmm.
viewing them as a competitor, which
Right.
what we're saying. So, um,
It's
so
kind of
that's
like the NFL and the XFL. Like one's gonna end up crumbling or whatever, but also it could end up being like people don't understand. Like it kind of would help the players, but I don't think corporate cares. I don't think the big names up top care. Like they only care about my dollar, and people turn 19 every day. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah. I mean,
we gonna.
yeah. I also heard I
It's
was like maybe the big three could take away from some of the younger talent instead of like focusing and grinding the G League. They gonna get the contract that they could get in G League and NBA in the big three, but they could have take away from, hey, the NBA is not showing me any love, so let me just shoot my shot from going from G League to the big three or from college to the big three. That was some gripes
right
there, but I was
because
saying
they
like,
already barely want to go to college. They already are like trying to
right,
figure out how to
OT
keep
and
them
all
in
that
college.
stuff. So yeah, so
Yeah,
that's gonna be, I think the college is really gonna be taking a hit because right now all this other stuff popping up, like nobody's gonna want to do that college stuff. Everybody can do these little substitutes or alternatives for that 1 year eligibility, which I think is gonna be dismissed in a couple years from now, where you can go straight from high school again for
I think
for a
I think they
percentage of
should.
people. But
Yeah.
I also think that's gonna mess up a lot of people's chances that could go to the NBA because I'm not sure if you I don't know how it worked where if you declare to go to NBA, you don't get picked up, or do you have to go to G League that route, or
Uh,
because you can't go back in the draft? I don't think like you can't
I
be like,
think.
I didn't get picked up
No,
in
I
the
get what
first two
you're saying.
rounds, so next year. But at least with
I'm gonna
the
try again. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know if I feel like that may mess up a lot of kids where it's like I know I'm good enough, or I think I'm good enough to go to NBA from my senior year or whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? But with at least the college year or that year of just figuring yourself out, getting better, I feel like, that increases your odds and stuff like that. So I still think if they do allow and I know we're kind of bouncing, but if they allow the high school straight to the NBA, I feel like it should be like a really slim percentage of people. It shouldn't be like
And
half
that's
the
the way it
class be able.
was. I mean, that's what it was before. I mean, because like, and I think that also comes with like being smart and having the right people around you, because not everybody that's nice senior year. You may be good to get that first like that D1 scholarship, sure, but not everybody is even got the size, the speed. So I think that like, let's say, name out of a hat, Zion. Zion would have done better coming straight out of high school.
Yeah,
He was
yep.
already big. He's already fast. He already had less injuries, so maybe he would have been more successful. Only thing is, like they say, maybe the mental for a
Yeah,
lot of people, and we're even seeing that even with him now. I feel like mentally he wasn't or isn't quite there.
it's not there.
So
Yeah.
you'd have to deal with that. But like, it's also like, of course, if you talk to the right agents, talk to the right scouts, talk to the right former NBA players. Hey, you think I should? You think I could probably go now? Because like, I mean, there's some play like they showed like Kobe. Um, they talk about like how when he was a senior and he was like going to these open runs with pros and he's cooking them. They were
Mhm.
like, okay, yeah, he might be ready
He
right
might
now.
be.
Whereas, with some people, it's like, yo, yeah, go ahead and go to Duke for a couple of years or go get one, you know. Then I think, did you see where Gilbert Arenas was talking about how even with like WNBA, they're saying that like they need to start letting the girls go out of high school or earlier than just like I think in WNBA you got to do all 4 years or something, or 3 or something like that. But he's saying like one thing that happens from high school to college is you end up being stripped of your uniqueness, because when you go play for a college, and even like not so much anymore, but like I was gonna say like some prep schools, but when you go play in college, they put you into a certain system. Get on the block, do this, you know. Right. Whereas before, especially in today's game, where it's almost positionless basketball now.
All right.
So it's like I was at, Wichita talk. I was at Heights High School, and I was that dude, not me personally, but for example, I'm at Heights High School. I'm that dude. I'm 6'5", but my coach trusts me to play however, even though I'm the tallest player on the team. Because for some reason here in Kansas, we don't really get that tall to where, you know, when we had Perry Ellis playing for Heights, he was like, what, 6, I forget, like 6'6", 6'7", or something like that. But they had him as center. And it's like, but he can shoot though. He can dribble. Like he was able to move that way. So you kind of like take the training wheel. And then he goes to KU. And KU is very much so programmed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everything is a certain way. So then you've already stripped him of so much of his uniqueness. And then you go into the league and find out like we don't even treat big men the way we used to treat them.
Yeah.
You know, we don't do the low block thing no more. And, you know,
that's what happened with this draft. This year, they said it was a whole bunch of, you know, big men that was in a college that was outstanding players that didn't get picked up because the league is not headed that way in the NBA. And then for WNBA, at least if they would try to come from high school, bro, I don't know, because it's already college graduates that was outstanding that got picked up and cut on their teams. It was because they were talking about like it was like 3 or 4 girls that came from the USC squad, and they was cut from their teams for whatever reason before, like they was drafted, cut before the start of the season.
Oh, shoot.
The issue I think they were saying is that, one, they don't have enough roster spaces, and WNBA doesn't have enough teams to allocate all the players. So they are cutting
need to grow their teams. Yeah.
They're pretty much cutting like the rookies and those younger players, because it's like, well, we kind of already have our refined team. We might pick up one good young player, but we can't get 2 or 3 at the same time. So, and keep the same players that we have. So, that's unfortunate. So that's what I'm saying. If they introduce the high school, they would have to have more teams, which we already know how the WNBA market is. Growing more teams would be a bigger hit.
That would probably sink the league. Yeah,
so,
that would. Yeah, like, they didn't go bankrupt.
So, it's stuff like that, man. But going back to the big three, I think the big three could be something that could be enjoyable, but like I said, I think it has to have some profitability shown before the NBA can be like, okay, we see where you're going, but to your point, why would I invest in something that we can foresee as it being a competitor? May not be a big competitor to us, but nonetheless, it'd be something that can be taken out pockets with the fans. And then you also mentioned Slam Ball, which I was like, I forgot that was coming back. That one I don't see, because that one kind of feels
it feels very
arcade, arcade-like. So circus-like. So that was not like, okay, and that's just okay, y'all in a bouncy house type. I don't know. It does. I mean, it does get a little physical. It does. It's enjoyable with the tackles and all that kind of stuff. But I can see that easily. As fast as it came back, as it can disappear just as fast. So,
for sure. But yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, it to me it's just greed. And like, so one of the things I think that like, and real quick before we switch gears, I think that like, and I've felt this in my own life. Even if you're not supporting me, don't try to stop me, or don't do little bit of things to make it harder for me. Just get out the way. Just get out the way.
Yeah.
I don't need your handouts. I don't need your but just let me rock. Let me do my thing and stop trying to blackball or talk crazy to me. Just say, hey, I don't know nothing about that, and
I
literally just
agree.
leave it alone. So
And that's
because
exactly what they're doing. Cause they
that's
blocking
what
him
it feels like.
they blocking him on TV networks. The NBA is reaching out to TV network and say, hey, if y'all play this one, y'all probably won't get our, you know,
That's
we won't
that's
allow
what I'm
y'all to play
saying.
our stuff. So like that's why he was saying he's only in like a portion of the games he's only on like CBS or something like that, and the rest he has to go to like a third party app or something like that. We have to watch the games. You can't even watch it like on a
See,
TNT and stuff like that. So or ABC. So the
can't
league
even
is
get an
already
ESPN. Yeah,
none of the ESPN. So that's why it's like, and those are like I feel like if they was on those platforms, that can boost up the league a little bit more. But the NBA is definitely intervening from what Ice Cube is telling us, which
yeah,
does look apparent. They're intervening in those different areas where the media markets where they're not talking about it on no talk shows, like the
yeah.
first takes in the ESPN talk shows, no ESPN talkways, and then the media and all that. Like like I said, if Ice Cube don't talk about it, you don't. Nobody's talking about the big three besides the players in
You
there
don't.
that might show their little highlight reel that they did for like a minute or two on their social media because they went and showed out. But besides that, that's the only talk
It's
about it.
not much. Yeah, we don't really see too much. And so yeah, I think that's the problem there. Like I said, like, and I see it so much like in life. A lot of times people won't even just let you do your thing. I don't care if you don't mess with me. All you got to do is just going about your regular life. But going out of your way to call this person, that person, and talk stuff about me here and this and that, there's there's no reason for that. We all could
Yeah,
we all could win. We all could do something, you know what I'm saying?
right.
But greedy people gonna be greedy. If for some reason, let's say as a trainer, if somebody says, hey, I'd much rather go to, I don't feel like name dropping people, but
Yeah, XY.
Steve Smith. Yeah, go to Steve Smith or whatever.
You know
And
Steve?
instead of, oh yeah, he a this, he a that, da, 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 da. Like if I just go and just bash him to people, oh, I don't care if you don't go to me, but definitely don't go to him. Da, da, like that sounds
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah,
And so instead of just being like, hey, yeah, definitely check it out. Hey, but if not, I'm here for you, blah, blah, blah. I don't like to talk stuff about other trainers. I'm just, because we all in the hustle, we all in the game. So I think that's one of those things that they're kind of doing on a much grander scale, much,
yeah,
times 1,000x. And you're literally not even just taking money out of Ice Cube's mouth, but those other players, the people who work the events. Like so many people get paid or don't by the way that you talk shit about what we got going on over here.
so true.
And so, yeah, man, you know what? This is kind of random, but like I said, we just chatting. I just finished watching Stack. Basically, it was a documentary on Netflix about the American Gladiators.
Hmm.
And it kind of like somewhat talked about like how hard it was starting out and they was just trying to figure things out and how like there was all these different obstacles. I mean, of course the show's about obstacles, but like obstacles to try to get the show up and going and people trying to like talk down on it. No, this will never work and all that. It's made me think about that, but it's definitely a real quick, not an ad, but it's a pretty good documentary, man. It's like 5 episodes. It's really zany. You're sitting there like, what? Like some of it's like funny, some of it's sad, some of it's like very informative about the business and how lack of knowledge. It made me think like, boy, it wouldn't have been able to happen like the bad stuff, like the contracts and all that, and when they tried to go on strike, it wouldn't have been able to happen, or they would have been able to get paid a lot better if they had social media in 1989, like 1990, 1991, like because like it was like the gladiators were sitting there getting fucked up, like so bad, like because like these games, especially in the earlier stages, they didn't have all the safety precautions, or like they didn't like fix how it, what's the best way to play this game. So you got one of the games is just like knock this guy out the circle, knock the gladiator out the circle, or whatever. So they sitting there just basically just fighting and all that. Or it's like you got to kind of like go from like ring to ring up in the air, and then like the gladiator goes and tries to like jump on you. Did you ever watch? Have you ever seen episodes of that? I know that's like way before your time, but
I mean, I've seen some clips of it,
yeah, like no,
and
it's
then
why reckless games.
yeah, I've seen some of those for sure. And now they have the ones where it's like a tag zone type. It's kind of the modern one where they kind of tag
Yeah,
the person and they got different obstacles. You have the last, a
30
minute or
seconds. So they
something.
and they talk about how basically American Gladiators was like its influence on the world is like all the game shows that we see today, from like Wipeouts to American Ninja Warrior to
Mm,
that tag game, all these different stuff that's like that. Even like the kid games that we grew up watching, like uh, Guts,
okay, yeah, I remember that
stuff
one.
like that. Yeah, so like it was just crazy. So like it showed like how they started making money off of merchandising
Mm.
and all that, but not the gladiators. They were just like, and then if a gladiator got hurt, they weren't even like really providing like medical care. Like, so they was like sitting there snapping ACLs. And they're like, oh, I guess you're off the show then. Go figure out what to do.
Man,
Like, to
I'll
your
be
Achilles. Oh, shoot. Like, yeah,
man.
like
I'm gonna have to check that one out.
it's a
I
good
mean,
one.
at least for documentaries, I'm not really like gun ho on it. Like some people like documentary heavy, so I'll try to
Yeah.
watch a couple. One of them I have on the radar is the Flaming Hot Cheetos documentary.
Oh,
I
well, I
want
think
to
that
see
was
that
also
one.
a movie. Isn't that going to be like a movie?
I think it's gonna be I don't know if it's a movie or documentary, but I think it's on Hulu
I,
right now, and
yeah.
I want to check that one out because I know a little bit of story based off the trailer of it by like I think it's like a Hispanic or Mexican janitor,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
he kind of brought the idea, and he was he was the originator of that flavor. So, but I just want to know the back end or what they can provide in
If
that
he get
documentary.
money, yeah.
Yeah, like if he
Yeah.
actually, hey, I just gave y'all the idea, but y'all kind of shut me out on the deal, which I'm pretty sure that happened. But
Sure.
uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's one of the things I was like, documentary wise, I only have like a couple that in the bag. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, but I'm not like huge like, you have different
Yeah.
categories on Netflix or what else. You got the
Oh
little
yeah.
comedy, you have the action adventure, you have the documentary. I'm one of those
Yeah.
that kind of skip the documentary section. If
There's some good ones.
somebody
Yeah.
recommended like you recommended, then I'll go check it out. But I'm not the one that gonna go scroll and find one. I'm not really that type, not that invested in those type of
Yeah. Unless it's
showings.
like one of
So,
them sports ones or something like that, like the
oh
Redeem
yeah,
Team.
redeem team and stuff like that. I'm gonna go
What was
ahead.
that one? Bad Sport.
Mm.
Bad Sport. It was on Netflix, I think, and it's like a series, so it had like different sports in it, but it was like different sports scandals. So
Hmm.
there was one where it was like a Arizona State. The dude was like point shaving and stuff like that for money, and
Oh wow.
what's his name? Like they called him Headache, and he was going like if he didn't get in trouble for all this stuff, like if it didn't come out about him like shaving points and helping winning bets and all that with like the mob,
Hmm.
he probably was going to be one of them ones in the league. Like he was, especially back then when you could be shorter, because he wasn't nothing but like 5'9", 5'10", but he was giving people headaches. Like that's what
All
they called
right.
it. Like they was like, yo, when we watched him play, it was like he controlled the whole game, both the other team and our team. And like if he wanted to, like he knew like he would score as many points as he wanted. He knew exactly where to throw the ball for. If I pass it here, he may end up like having to dribble and shoot and passing out of it. But if I throw it right here, he's gonna get a easy bucket. Like so, he knew how to like get the right amount of assist for stuff and the right amount of points and all that.
Oh wow.
And so it was crazy. Yeah, Bad Sport, I think it's called on there. That was another one that was crazy.
Mm.
But uh yeah, I think a lot of times, I mean, I guess wrapping it all up, it's the business, like the people up top, like they don't like, maybe they're so far removed from like the working part or the come up or the little people that get affected that they don't care who they wreck in their sabotage, So
Oh yeah, for sure. Because that news might not even make it all the way up to them necessarily now with social media. Somebody make a TikTok about their story or how a company treat them. It gets to
yeah.
X amount of views, and that's how people got to address those. But in the past, for sure, and even right now, still, you know, if they affect somebody that's you think is like down the food chain, it's like, hey, it's just how business is, and they go on
So
with their
yeah,
life. So
man, it's like the what's that? The writers and the actors strike going on right now. Like it's like the little guy, and the thing is, I keep seeing there where people that like on the outside, like a us type of thing. A lot of people are like, so you guys got a whole bunch of money. I just seen you on such and such. I've seen you on this show. It's like, okay, A, we're not talking about the Brad Pitts of the world. And B, that's what they're talking about. The ones that we've seen on whatever Power Show or Insecure. I seen this thing where the dude who did you ever watch Insecure?
no, I need to watch it
Okay.
though.
Yeah, it's really good. I saw it's on Netflix now. So I was like, that's okay. Even though
Yep,
it's a HBO show.
HBO.
But
Yeah.
but like the barber and one of Issa's one of her boyfriends on the show, um, he like showed like he was on a good amount of episodes too. He like showed that like he had like 50 residual checks and he like deposited them all at the same time. And it came up to like, I forget the exact number, but it was like $85
What?
for, for all 50. And
Whoa.
so it's like, yes, guys, like we're not talking about the fact of uh Scarlett Johansson was supposed to get 80 million, but she only got 20, which still is a travesty. You should get paid what you're worth and what they bring in, or at least a percentage of things. I understand that. But we're talking about people on these hit shows and all these things
Mm.
that are getting like nothing, or like you'll get a small little front end and they're like, yeah, so you'll get percentage on this, or the fact that now streaming has become the bigger thing. So when shows are in syndication on regular channels like Fox or whatever, you'll get a check every time that airs. Whereas it's hard to track that on streaming sites.
Mm.
So like I can watch Rick and Morty every day, but they don't show that like it was getting watched every day. So the people that may get residuals from that don't now. Or
Mm.
what I think is going on is I think that like streaming sites aren't making what they thought they'd be making. And so
Mm.
that's another reason why they don't show what they're doing, because they could mess up their stocks.
That's also true. Also, why they raise some of the description prices on certain things as well. And now they do
Right.
like,
Because they're
because
under.
Hulu used to be fine. Well, I don't know if they under, but you know, Hulu and all them used to be like fine. You pay this fee for no ads, and now
Mm-hmm.
that you don't have it, they add longer ads in there now. It used to be like 30-second ads like back in the day, but
Yes.
now it's like a minute 30 going on 2 minutes, and it's kind of forcing the end user to be like, I think $2 more a month might be worth it just to get these ads off, and it sucks. So, and now they have like
Yeah.
all these like add-ons. So it's like
Right. Right.
instead of going for Disney Plus, paying that subscription, come to Hulu, pay $5 extra a month, and we'll have Disney Plus with you in here. So you can tell like they're trying to,
And
everybody's
then
just
be
trying to
like,
get a piece of the
you want
pie.
Showtime? You want Showtime too? So then you put an extra $3 with that whole package. Yeah. So everything is just, well, and the reason why I say under, not necessarily because of like them losing money off of like subscription and stuff like that, but think about a lot of the um, Netflix originals, the Hulu originals, all those movies that they're making, it maybe could have costed, I don't know, for quick maths, $30 million. Okay, but in normal movies, they get made back by going to the movie theaters,
Okay,
posters,
I see
whatever.
what you're saying. Okay.
But if I just But if I just put it straight to streaming, where are the ticket sales? I was already on the website. I was already like, we're already paying the same amount no matter what. So I could mess around, not go to work for a month and watch 5 movies a day. I'm paying the same price. Whereas if I go to the movie theater and pay 5 or watch 5 movies a day, that's like $100 a day, you know? So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know they do track like the number of views and streams and stuff like that. So, but I don't know how that equates to profit and money wise. I just know they could
yeah.
be like, this is the most streamed movie on this
And
platform.
we
But I
don't
don't
even
know
know that
what
for
that.
sure.
Yeah, we also don't know. But,
They could be lying. They could be like, let's push this one, let's push that one. Like, because they never reveal their actual numbers.
oh, for sure. I mean, for sure, there's gonna be some manipulation, especially when you see the top 10 in the US. And I'll be like, well, this just came out 2 hours ago. How is this the top 10?
Right.
And
Niggas ain't
then
got off work yet.
and then it'd be like a movie that's like super old. Maybe they just put it onto Netflix, but I was like, how is this top 10 for sure? Like,
Right.
I can't think of a good example, but
Made in Manhattan should not be trending right now. Like,
yeah, it's
or
certain things
enough
like
or
for sure.
something.
Or like you see something like if it's a Netflix original, I've noticed that they always put it in their top 10 because it's something that just came out. It's like,
Oh yeah.
whether or not this is top 10, we want you guys to feel like you're missing out on something. Click it, watch it, just because. Right. So,
right. I mean, it makes sense.
Oh yeah, it's market. If it's coming from us, we definitely gonna market ourselves for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure, they definitely manipulating those numbers or manipulating what we see or perceive. Mm-hmm. So,
well, and I think another thing that they're striking about that was kind of crazy. Well, and it's kind of like, I'm sure you haven't seen it yet, but like the new episode, the first episode on the newest season of Black Mirror, where basically they were able to use that one was a little weirder, but basically what they're trying to do is be able to use actors likeness and images in perpetuity. So like using AI now, we can go ahead and have a young Harrison Ford with his voice, with all that, and it looks just like him, walks, all that. And so we can keep doing that, which in theory, it sounds kind of cool, but we know that they won't give the proper pay to that. They're like, if y'all want to use my likeness, I need a fat stack. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, it's on the way. It's already on the way.
Yeah, I mean, because they're probably going to do it anyway, but that's what they're trying to strike to say, y'all can't do that. Like, you cannot use my likeness and image, but I don't know. So they're also...
It's hard.
Yeah. Because also you can make them do things that they would normally say, oh, no, I don't want to do this in movies. And it's now they're like, okay, you don't have to. And now you got, Jamie Foxx kissing Will Smith or something. And they're like, what? We weren't going to do that,
Yeah. That's so true. Plus, right now with the comedians that I've been watching it, shout out to, what's that one I was watching? Ronnie Jordan and...
More Than Culture.
More Than Culture, 85 South Show. They've been talking about the writers strike with the sitcom writing. So right now they used to come to comedians to, hey, can you write this script? Put in some of those ha he funny moments in there, but also keep it with the story and stuff like that. But now with the AI stuff like that, they might not get the humor out of it, but they're writing like that baseline backbone script that they was coming to them for. And that's kind of messing up a lot of things like that. And, like I said, it's going to take a turn where people just have to realize that people are still valuable. People don't want to be used, their likeness and stuff want to be used all kind of ways. And once they set those, like I said, I don't know, when they said writer strike, I was like, do they come to some type of agreement, something that's legally binding? Hopefully that's how stuff ends. But hopefully it comes to some type of agreement where people can say, hey, if you want to use something of mine, you have to get my okay from it. You know what I mean? And then it's X, Y, and Z that can't be used with this. But
yeah, you can lease it out. They can lease my likeness or whatever. And Yeah, I just think that it's a. I don't know. I think that like I saw Andrew Schultz posting something where basically it's like he thinks that and he's an actor too, so he's like he gets it, but like he said that like we may be fighting a losing battle because
Yeah.
of like if they can't pull from what they don't got, and like we said, it may be greed. So now like this person way at the top may 500 million off of a movie, but he really wanted to make 600. So he's looking at it like a loss. So now I got to cut my losses. So now there's going to be less actors, as whatever. But, and then I guess they're also talking about like conditions, so which isn't too bad, but like the extras or the people who just got the one or two lines or something like that, they're getting nothing. And the price of everything is going up as well, so
But think
they
about it
even
now with
say,
those generated facial features and generated voices, like those extras about to be, AI
yeah.
generated.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. Matter of fact, they did it. I guess I seen somebody posted about it online about like some Disney movies.
Yes, I see
And like, yeah. And like in the
and
crowd
like
and like in
repeat
a
faces
gym.
and gestures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Made it look like the old NBA, looking like NBA Live extras or 2K
Yep.
in the crowd.
And you see like the same, same face for like 5, 10, 15 people, and they all do the
Yeah.
same at the same
Yeah, at the
time.
same time.
But yeah, it's gonna be stuff like that where, people who was, got a little something for just the extra for that one time. I'm not seeing the residuals or anything like that. I'm just saying, hey, got the one time fee, come do this one little role for us. Walk by, talk one line. But some of those I feel like it's gonna be taken away from those type of opportunities as well. Because
Yeah.
some people got their first start from like, hey, let me just be extras, being around the scene, hey, doing this, and then you work your way up. But to me, it feel like if you ain't, I feel like the acting in that space about to be super hard to get into,
Yeah.
especially if you're not established or have a good connection with people already. Because they was like, well, we don't
Well,
need you to do this one liner. We'll put that in easy, and it's a lot cheaper than have you on redoing the lines over and over and over just for your
right,
one
true.
line. You know?
And the thing is, I think that like also with a lot of people creating their own lanes for themselves, whereas like with like skits and Instagram and YouTube, and they're making their own shows, this and and all that. Now you got people that are almost skipping the line, like skipping the line because they did it this unconventional route, like a King Batch or something like that. Or like a lot of those people that went from making vines, making money off social media, and immediately like building this giant following. So now he already has the leverage to
Yeah.
go. Actually, you got to pay me this much. I get paid this much from Instagram, so I need something to match that while I'm. And so now he's skipping and going straight from Vine or Instagram to, even if it's not a leading part in the movie, it's still like 7, 8 on the call sheet type.
Yeah.
For his first movie. And that's crazy. We in a whole different
That
era.
is
And I
true,
don't think a lot of
because
people were ready for that.
that social media skit stuff have made so many opportunities for people to get jumped right into those movies and stuff like that. Like Desi Banks is in some stuff. It's a whole bunch of those in that circle that just say, I was doing little skits. Y'all can see how I can act well, or I do my own writing of those skits so they can get on the writer's side of things as well. So it's like that also,
Like Country Wayne.
yeah, oh yeah, for sure. But it's like stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know how that's gonna play well in the end in the future, especially if they don't have the right like acting ability. It's like, man, you funny on social media. When we come to the movie side, it's like, what's really going on?
You
But
don't know
at
how
the
to make
same
it
time,
translate. Yeah.
hey, he's popping. So once his name was on that flyer, we know we're gonna have people coming out to see that movie just for him or see what he's about in this movie. So it's stuff like that. I'm like, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
So I think it's definitely changing, how we view a lot. in the industry. And so like, man, the only thing I think I kind of hate about it is you got to have a whole lot of movies and TV shows that's about to be like pushed back. Like TV's gonna get weird for a while. It's gonna be like I don't know if you remember the last strike. That was it was over 10 years ago, but it was like the dawn because of that strike, it birthed a lot of like reality TV. Because of this writer's strike. So there wasn't writers, but how much writing do you need with that was around the time when what was that? All of those
like Real World and stuff like that?
No, like Love and Hip Hop. What's the one? A Flavor of Love. All those came out of they all came around the same time. Like around that time, a whole bunch of reality TV just came out of nowhere. And it was because of that. Like, okay, we don't have writers because they're on strike, but we got to still make stuff. Okay, cool. But now you got writing and acting, on strike. So I think this may be the dawn of maybe more podcast, more like YouTube stuff. People are just talking.
Yeah, well, I mean, we already see that now. I mean, this space is heavily dominated, and that's like, at first, I mean, when we started, we was like, yeah, we were interested. We saw some prominent podcasts, but I feel like they might be for everybody. As soon as we started, all the NBA players started making their podcasts because it wasn't as many basketball dominated podcasts out there.
Right.
Now it's like every other player has a podcast, and then they go on each other podcasts.
Right.
And now like they have all of the actors are doing it. They had the R&B singers doing it. They have it's like and I mean, it's the wave right now. So I think that everybody's kind of hopping on it. So any type of interest that you have, everybody's going to go on it. But yeah, it's super booming. So I can see that it's coinciding with these writers' strike and stuff like that. So
yeah, and you'll have a whole lot more people being able to now tell their stories and all that. And I think that like, yes, we do still like scripted. We still like, I mean, of course, y'all know we talk about movies all the time, like and TV shows, but I think people are starting to become more invested in the actors and the athletes as people.
Yeah.
So more we see them being themselves, not actually being the actor. You see Idris Elba on whatever talking with his British accent, then you're like, oh, okay, well, I like seeing him as him. More people watch the interviews and stuff like that. I did see in as part of the rules in the strike is actors aren't allowed to even go on podcasts and talk about their movies. So I think that kind of messes them up as well with like what they can talk about, what they can say, what they got going on, which could hinder them from making money. And they're not allowed to like make videos on their own pages, like or nothing like that. So,
wow.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess it's also easy to just like, if they literally just tell us about their day or something like that, it sounds dumb. But like, I know that like as a whole, for some reason, that will make a lot more people tune into that person or like that person more. Or for some people, end up hating them more because now we're like, man, I didn't know he had those thoughts, but
right.
So, yeah, man. Some random, that's going on. I don't know why I ended up getting on the.
Yeah, for sure.
I guess it all lines up. All the strikes and the monies and the bigs versus
corporations. This whole thing had a thing to it. So I'm not gonna lie, it had a thing to it. I mean, for the most part, we're definitely gonna keep it short. But I did want to bring up DREAMCON is happening this weekend. I'll be down in Austin. My boy Julius. Shout out to I got a friend called Jamaal as well, and then one of his homegirls. We going down to Austin, so should be good, man. It's gonna be 3-day event. RDC World, Supreme Dream gonna be hosting that, so it's gonna be a whole bunch of like anime talk, hip hop talk. They have like spoken word down there. They have a whole bunch of gaming tournaments. cosplay contest. Of course, vendors gonna be selling stuff and merch and stuff like that. Everybody, they have a whole bunch of breakout sessions, maybe like at least between 8 to 15 a day. And then they have like it's a whole bunch of they have a schedule, app, and everything on it. One of his like content creation, how to get into that space, tips and tricks and stuff like that. Since a lot of people that's going to be kind of on that rim as well,
Right.
on that type of vibe. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I think it's gonna be definitely a good networking event. So like even if you don't have a business or you're not trying to promote something, just mixing and matching with people that like the same stuff as you. I think it's gonna be majority African American, Black people that's gonna be there, but it's gonna be a mix of people. But for the most part, I was like, this is like the perfect thing for like me and my friend group for sure, and even for yourself, because it's like one is all the things that we like, everything we talk about, because they can go from the skits they was talking about doing in the hood, hey Jamaal, don't pull up the 9. That's gonna be something I'm gonna bring up if I see them in person. I was like, hey, I ain't even like that. But it's gonna be tough. Shout out to Cal.
It keeps getting bigger. Oh yeah, Cal.
Shout out to Cal and All Points Podcast. They will be having a booth and a session there. I need to talk with them. I don't know what the theme or what they're going to be talking about while they're there, but definitely check them out. I was looking at that time slot. It doesn't look like anything else is like a big or major hitter that's colliding or colliding with their time slot. So definitely reach out to them. Go ahead and book it on the DreamCon app and then check out with them. I'll definitely be there. Definitely checking them out for sure.
Yes, definitely. Tune in to All Points.
Next, next time we talk or get up together about on the next episode, I'll definitely be trying to talk about the DreamCon experience and stuff like that. Try to get the pictures and videos, people I met. Probably try to get Cal on. I have to ask him. Talk about his experience from the vendor side and stuff like that, and then also how he took it when he walked around. So, because I'll be there for 3 days, I think he'll be there for 2 or 3 days as well. So that's gonna be a really dope event, man. Looking forward to it.
Man, I know that's gonna be fun. Man, but because I know it's gonna be even bigger than before, because first it looked smaller, it was easier to talk to RDC World, and now it's like just growing and growing, and now it's just like.
That's why I was talking with Julie. I said, I wish we had went earlier when it was smaller, build up those connections with people that was, kind of come annually. Because now we're coming on the tail end. I'm not the tail end, but we're coming in the peak time where it's like super popular and booming. Because now they have sponsors like Twitch is a sponsor, Nintendo is a sponsor. I was like, those are huge hitters. I was like, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be huge. I think they're gonna have a whole bunch of like voice actors, some type of I think the guy from Holes, I forgot their name.
Zero.
Yeah, so he's gonna be there.
Thomas.
Yeah, so he's huge into that space, the anime world and stuff like that. So he's gonna be pulling up, but it's gonna be people like that. I'm not gonna say, he's not a top celebrity, but I don't see like any like, oh my gosh, I recognize him from whatever. Gonna be there, but we don't know who's gonna slide through. So that's also one of the things that comes to those events. You may not know who you bump into. So I'm looking forward to that, man. So that's this weekend. Shout out to RDC World and DreamCon, and then also Kyle and All Points Podcast pulling up on that. So we'll definitely have a catch-up episode.
Be ready to get some crazy questions asked when you see them, or heard, like to hear some crazy questions. I know they're gonna come with some heat. It's gonna be funny. So
yeah, that's what I was like. I'll have to prepare my mind, body, and soul if I go down there and see what they got going on. Because some of the episodes they have, y'all gotta listen to 8 podcasts. Because some of the topics they be talking about, I'll be like, "Hey, bro, I can hang with y'all. I don't know if I can hang with you." I'll be
it'd be
y'all some wild.
They do real
boys.
good at matching energy. They do real good at matching energy and stuff like that.
For sure.
But I think we
got to do one of those, bro. In the future, All Points podcast and match my energy.
At least if we do like some of them, if we can't get all of them or something like that.
Right.
Man, oh yeah, no, there's big shout outs to them, especially the ones that I met, Jonathan Krigler, Midwest, of course, Kyle. Y'all already know it's always shout out to Kyle over here.
For sure.
And then even the ones that I didn't, man, like I think it's A2. We listen over there, but oh yeah, and I just saw that they posted that they just got their a lot more videos up, so definitely check out their YouTube. I don't know why that's a quick commercial for All Points, but that's the guys.
Exactly. So
Like yeah, man, I had like one more thing, but I think I forgot. It's all good. Y'all know how bad my memory is sometimes. Like
hey,
it'd be here and go.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to if you remember it, we'll write it down and we talk about it on the next one, man. I think we're gonna have to wrap it up this
No, you gotta
episode,
get out of
man.
here.
Yeah, man, I got some plans today. So but
And I
before
gotta
we
go
leave,
get ready to
any
shout out
shout
to the
outs?
Shakas.
Any shout outs you have, real quick?
Real quick one. You know what? Keep it for the home team. Shout out to my boy Cole Reinhardt. His birthday was just a couple days ago. He's one of the trainers at my gym. Great, knowledgeable trainer. Shoot, we went to the same school. And yeah, just first off, man, you're getting older. So happy birthday there. I feel like there's so many birthdays I have around me right now. Like,
yeah,
man, but yeah, happy birthday and big shout out to Kyle. If you need any personal training from him, definitely hit him up. It'll definitely be in the bio. Great trainer, very knowledgeable, very professional, and it's only getting better from there. And also, I'm gonna keep this us. So yeah, a big shout out to everybody that's been helping keeping my business afloat. Boy, it's been a trouble. It's been a time. Definitely something I would want to break down another time. But yeah, I'll just shout out to Kyle today. So yeah, what about you?
Man. I have one. His name is Jimmy Camille, or he goes by Art Monster 3. He does a whole bunch of artwork. Again, I'm on artwork month, I guess, but he does the like resin tables. He also does like paintings and different artwork and stuff like that. I bought Miami Heat painting from him maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and now he has this sale going on where he has some of these anime themed tables, or I don't know how to say it, like end tables. So I saw that. I was reaching out to him, so I might be trying to get one of those, but I wanted to shout him out because I actually shot with him before. I do like to shout out people that I actually like work with, not like
right.
And, of course, some people like, hey, I admire their work. I'll just shout them out, but I actually got his work already supported. Got some artwork in my house and stuff like that. So that'd be somebody for sure. He has an interesting story that he's kind of been posting about. I think he had dealt with some mental struggles that he posted on his story. So I don't know him personally, but I'll also try to reach out to have him try to come on the show as well, which that's everybody. Everybody shout out. I always try to get him on the show. So
right, true.
But yeah, for sure, definitely trying to get him talk about his battle and how he got into the artwork as well. So, but shout out to him, Jimmy Camille.
Oh, one more quick one. Well, my little cousin. Say little cousin, this dude's huge. My swole little cousin, Demarcus Fauneroy. We both his birthday is also today, like I said. I just thought of that just now. He turned 27. Man, he got into personal training, where he went to college for like exercise science and all that. But I think he works in the railroad now. He played college football, was a big boy. He's one of the ones that like started off real chubby most of his life, locked into sports and fitness and stuff. And now he's just this like super big buff dude, from Mississippi. It's my family from down there, down in Gulfport. And so, yeah, man, big shout outs to T-Bone. Everybody in my family got nicknames. This T-Bone, aka DeMarcus, man. Super proud of you. Love you, man. Yeah, happy birthday. So yeah, man, keeping this one quick. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you if you want to be a guest or you have topics and stuff, definitely hit us up. I'll leave the email in the description, or hit us up on any of the IGs you see, any of the acts, hit them up. But yeah, and whether we chat like bros, like we did today, or we have to debate you like an enemy, it's all fun and games. Just match my energy.
Just match my energy. Just match my energy. Yeah.